Kislev is known for its unstoppable bears, the bear riders, giant magical bears, and bear war sleds. But let's not forget the true strength of a Kislev army lies in the hearts of its people, fighting tooth and nail for their survival against the unending tides of chaos invasion. All they have is their trusty steel, the weapons and armor they wield, and their faith to the bear god Urson, and of course don't forget about a crap ton of firepower in the forms of gunpowder and arrows. And this is exactly what we're showing today, with an army of Kislev units with nothing but regular horses and ordinary men, with a bunch of Dargods and the armored Cossars mixed in the front line. At the back we have the Streltsies, protected by a whole bunch of Cossars with spears, and of course a couple winged lances at the back to provide some counter-charging mobility. The leader of the army, the Ice Witch, is the only person in the entire army with some extraordinary abilities. With the Heart of Winter, as well as Death Frost as the spell kit, the Frost Leopard summon, as well as the Glacial Blast for additional magic damage, but of course she is rather fragile in combat. On the other side we have World Beater, commanding the Ogre Kingdoms, blessed with the unnatural hunger from the Great Maul itself. With a front line of Nobblers backed up by Ogre Bulls with dual weapons, mixed in with a bunch of Iron Guts for their armor-piercing weapon power. At the back, a couple Man-Eaters with great weapons for more armor-piercing. And at the very far back, Powder Guts, providing some extra additional long-range firepower. Leading the army, we have the Slaughtermaster of the Great Maul here, providing only Troll Guts for healing, and that's basically it for the army builds on both ends. Now let's get the battle started, as the Kislevites marches to war wielding the three mightiest weapon, Steel Faith and Firepower in their hands. Oh wait, that sounds pretty much like Empire. When you think about it, Kislev is basically Empire but with bears. They have a reliance on the combined arms tactics to win themselves the game with the combination of firepower and melee prowess supported by cavalry, sometimes in the form of monstrous cavalry. Though the Kislev army carries out this combined arm tactics in an even more extreme approach. Outside their most elite Zargods, all their infantry possesses a combination of ranged firepower and melee prowess. And this allows them to field one of the widest missile onion build in the whole game. You can see that Cossars with spears and the Streltsies form the backlines, basically two, rear layer of this whole Kislev onion, while the front line, the sturdier layer of the onion, will be the armored Cossars mixed in with Zargods, who will be sacrificing their lives, absorbing the charges and damage from the Ogre melee units, buying time for all these Cossars and Streltsies to rain down firepower into all these Ogre units, filling them with a bunch of arrowheads and lead. As you can see here, the Nobblers already absorbing a bunch of ammo from the armored Cossars and Cossars with spears, on the verge of breaking. Same goes for some of these Ogre Bulls with dual weapons. Iron Guts here absorbing a bunch of Streltsy fire, not doing too well here, down to half health before charging into the Darguards. Although this little push here might be a bit troublesome, as this one unit of armored Cossars being overloaded with multiple units of dual weapons, Ogre Bulls, and also some Man-Eaters sneaking through the gaps. But the Cossars will hold, as the Kislevites have something stronger even than the Empire faith, which is their bile blood effect, the bond of the Kislevite people fighting for the motherland, summoning their courage from the bottom of their hearts, making them temporarily unbreakable in combat, buying time for the Cossars with spears to continue their fire and the Streltsies to pull back away from the threat of all these Man-Eaters, allowing the winged lances and the Cossars with spears to peel in and pin down these Ogre units, and the Streltsies will be turning around as they retreat and firing. Although the Ice Witch of Ice Magic here, being shot up by the Powder Guts real good, she is not going to hang around for long, despite the Bar Blood effect sustaining her leadership. So she'll be dropping in everything she got here. The Snow Leopard summon, the Heart of Winter here, draining the health of all these blobbed up Ogre units, and the Streltsies will be pulling away even further from these melee units. On the right hand side, my Cossars were broken away by all the Ogre push. However, I still have a whole bunch of Streltsies and Cossars with spears to pin them in. And I still have a whole healthy unit of Winged Lancers here, chasing off some routing units. Will be able to return and start recharging all these Ogre units. On the left here, the formation is a bit messy here, as the Cossars with spears managed to break off these Iron Guts with the support of the Streltsy units. While the Cossacks here are still holding despite down to around 30 units, well, they will be obliterated by a bunch of Ogre Bulls with their anti-infantry bonus, but they have bought the time for the Streltsies to resecure in the backline and start shooting, peppering all these Iron Guts with the hot lead. Now there's one unit of Streltsy being charged in by a bunch of Nobblers and Ogre Bulls. However, they will still be fighting as they're not bad fighters at all. 28 melee attack and defense, and also coming in with armor piercing. Not that it is any use in here against the lowly armored Ogre units, but still, damage is damage, and they will be hacking down all these Ogre Bulls and Nobblers, and soon their Bile Blood effect will activate as well. And then these battered Streltsies will hold like the most fanatic flagellant in combat. At the back, the Powder Guts who have been sniping at my Ice Witch, well, they are now shut down themselves with the armored Cossacks pushing forward, dragging them into melee combat. Even the Zargots are flooding in. One of them, having half their HP left, most of the unit models intact, is also pushing forward towards the Powder Guts. And with the Ogre infantry push being broken off by all my firepower, and the Powder Guts now being shut down by a bunch of elite Kislev melee units, my opponent decided to throw in the towel. When you take a closer look, the Kislev army really is a strong combination of steel faith and firepower, with the steel of the Zargots, the armor, their shields, and the armored Cossacks absorbing, blunting the charges from all these Ogre units, and then their faith holding back even against the most terrifying monsters, the Bile Blood effect. And then from the backline comes the shower of hot lead from the Streltsies, and also the arrowhead from the Cossacks with spears. This onion build was successful in beating back the terrifying Ogre horde. I would say the only thing I would switch out is probably the Ice Witch. I didn't really need the ice magic there. I probably would have been better off to just get a boyar on a bear or a horse to fight off all these Ogre units. As for the rest of the army, the Zargots did pretty well using their sturdy defenses to blunt the attack of the Ogres, delay them, and even survive till the endgame and push for the Powder Guts, while the Winged Lancers acting as another layer of onion peel, pushing in to pin down the Ogres using their cavalry mass, buying time covering the retreat for the Streltsies who were able to shoot and scoot, retreating back to safety and gun down any approaching Ogres, as the armored Cossacks, despite their valiant effort, were mostly broken away by the combination of armor piercing and anti-infantry from different Ogre units, although this one unit were able to push the Man-Eaters, getting some great value with their pistol shots and melee combat. While the Cossacks with spears, they were the last layer, actually second last layer of the onion layer, peeling in to buffer the retreat of all the Streltsies, as the Ogre Bulls were pushing in, using their anti-large to pin down enemy Ogre push, and with that the Streltsies were safely firing from the very rear of the army. Now for the Ogre Kingdoms here. World Beater here did a great job with the push, aggressive push, honestly. Despite the disadvantage in terms of army build, the Man-Eaters with Ogre Pistols, the Powder Guts here, did a great job shooting at my Ice Witch here, and also their armor-piercing attacks are great at fighting off my armored Cossacks. Although the Slaughtermaster didn't really do too much there, as his main responsibility was to heal and support. The Man-Eaters and the Iron Guts, without any missile block chance, were vulnerable targets to all the Streltsy fire. The armor-piercing bullets is just their prime weakness, while the Ogre Bulls with light armor and also the lack of missile block chance as well, their anti-infantry bonus was great once they get into melee, but when there's Streltsies and Cossacks shooting at them from afar, they had little to no protection from all those missile fire. As for Nobblers, well, they are Nobblers. They were mostly there as a fodder, so can't really say much about them. And yeah, that's basically it for today. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do and want to see more, remember to hit the like and subscribe to get notified, stay up to date on any future uploads on this channel. And if you have any battle replays you want to showcase, feel free to drop by my Discord or send me an email with the replay file attached. I'll be sure to check them out. And yeah, that's the end of today's video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Tactical Lich, signing out.